Hey, John.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Oh,
Yep.
good.
I'm not seeing you though, John.
Why?
Just
Really?
your
I see me. You can't
well.
see me?
It would be nice if we could see you also.
Huh.
Yeah, here
All
we go.
right.
Now you can see me. Hello.
Oh, there you are. All right, I think I'm having trouble with my. Hang on. Why is this always happening? One sec.
There we go.
You can see me now?
Yep. Yep, you're good now. Well, you're not moving, but
You're frozen.
frozen in time. That's scary.
Hello, everyone.
There we go.
I am
Now you're back.
Beth, and welcome to a very special episode of the CU Town Hall. It's November 29th, 2023, and we are celebrating a very exciting milestone. October was Best Innovation Group's 10th anniversary. Hey, Elliot, did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Actually, I had to postpone most of my.
Wow, sounds like you ate way
No.
much. So, let's talk about the most exciting thing to happen to humanity since the discovery of fire. AI, or as the nerds call it, GPT. Have you heard about the crazy stuff this tech can do, Elliot?
Yeah, I was just looking at something the other day.
You know why? Because you are not dead. You haven't been living under a rock. Elliot, do you want to know a secret? This video
Yes,
is
you can
real.
hear me.
It's from a site called HeyGen. I made this video by uploading less than 2 minutes of test video. I believe it has captured the essence of my soul. Are you interested in why I believe it has stolen my soul, Elliot? Look,
Bring it on.
of my AI avatar. Shall I be? Can you feel it? It's alive. Just kidding, everyone. The AI didn't steal my soul, or at least not all of it. Anyway, let's get on with the show.
So I discovered that about an hour ago.
Oh, an hour ago.
And it's my new favorite thing. Just in case you wanted to see the guts of it here.
Please.
So, here's what I uploaded to get it to go. I just uploaded this, which is just me talking.
Hey, John Best. Your instant avatar is ready. Feel free to create videos with it. Also, click the feedback button to share what you think. Hope you enjoy.
Is that not crazy?
Creepy. Crazy creepy.
Spooky.
I've made a few other ones that I thought were fun. Aliens is a good one, but if you remember the voice cloning I tried to do earlier this year,
Yeah.
and now not only can it do the voice cloning but the video. So, Mike, how long did you knew something was up when it talked over Elliot, right?
Something was amiss. Yes.
However, if it were that, and we all know GPT can respond and likely respond as me. So how far are we from having a talking head that looks like me and can respond, as when Elliot said start talking, would actually respond to him?
How far?
Yeah, I would say less than 6 to 9 months.
Yep.
Given the fact that you couldn't do what I just did, as far as I know, not without a lot of work, until just now. It's a brand new tool. It's crazy what's going
Look
on.
at some of the companies that are affiliate. Salesforce, KPMG, Accenture, Volvo. Oh gosh, these are some pretty heavy hitting company. Amazon.
Yes, they are, Mike. Would you like to know more?
Have you seen the company that has an AI influencer that is doing ads for them and is
No.
making like $15,000 a day or something like that? And it's got
The AI is
celebrities.
making 15,000, or the company?
well, the company that created the AI is making that money, but technically they're farming the AI out at that rate per hour or per day. And it's so realistic. There's actually like, it's getting direct messages from like celebrities hitting on it.
Well, I'll tell you you want to know how I improved mine? You may not have noticed it. Elliot might have noticed it. Elliot, did you notice the ominous tone that
Yeah.
was added to the video?
hmm
Hey Jen didn't do that, so I think I can take credit for that. Just saying.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey,
So
guess
it's
what,
custom-
everybody?
It's customizable as well.
Oh yeah, you could use other avatars. I mean, I could probably do the whole show just on this thing. Then Mike's like, look at that right now going, and Mike takes 2024 off. No one ever sees Mike again. The real Mike stays this age for the rest of his life.
I was just in an interview this morning where I said if I could have ChatGPT or some sort of AI clone me so I can go to more conferences, that would be a wonderful thing. So I think we're onto something here, John.
Well, here is
Or you're onto
here's
something.
one I did for yesterday or earlier when I was testing it.
Breaking news, right? In a stunning turn of events, researchers have announced the confirmed existence of Bigfoot. This remarkable discovery challenges our understanding of the natural world and promises to ignite a wave of scientific curiosity and exploration. More details to come on this sensational development.
I like that it says Big Goot. So that's
Big
what we
Goot.
call Tom now. That's Tom Stacy. So our CTO. So we had a lot of fun with it. Anyways, we'll get into that. We'll talk more. But right now, what we got to talk about is this is a very special episode. I wasn't lying. It is our 10th anniversary episode. And I'm excited about it. So let me get the screen up here and we'll get rolling.
For best innovation group, John.
Yes, for best innovation group.
Okay.
So
Because the town hall's only been around for what, 3 years?
no, yeah, town hall's not that old. We are, but not it.
I got you.
Like town hall's been like, I think that picture right there was taken. No, that was taken for the book, but close.
That's
to
my
around-
high school photo right there. Yeah, that was
Oh,
my.
I know it is. Yeah,
my senior year.
that was right out of the San Diego High yearbook.
That's right.
So before we get going, though, there's a reason we get to do this, and it's our great sponsors. So let's just go through them. First, Big, who's celebrating their 10th anniversary. I'll let you run with that one, Mike.
Bravo, sir. Well done.
All right. And then CU Broadcast, unless you just are not a nice person and not
Oh.
a good person, then you need to be listening to CU Broadcast, because anything else is frankly disappointing to humanity. So
Oh, gosh. Well said, sir. Well
yeah,
said.
Mike's on it. Mike's on everything. And if you want to stay in touch, stay in tune, he's the man.
And we celebrated our 13th year doing this kind of thing, So yeah,
Oh,
we've been doing
I remember
13
when you
years in
started it.
November.
I think I was one of your early guests.
Yes, you were. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. It was awesome. I'd love to do a recap of that someday, because we did some silly stuff. I remember one time driving through a Starbucks and
Yes. Yeah, we did some you came on doing your guitar and
autographs.
I think the one with you driving around was the most frightening but most compelling one that we did. So yeah,
Well, we
was a lot.
wanted to see how Starbucks mobile payment worked, and
It worked great. I was scared for your life. I didn't want you to run into a tree or something.
Yeah, but now everybody drives in Skype. So.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's
Whatever.
the norm.
Hey, speaking
Anywho,
of that, CUNA Councils. I'm already scheduling to speak at more of their events. They're going to be
Congrats.
America's Crayons soon. That's all coming together, and they've signed back up. They are very excited to continue to be involved, and with CU Town Hall as they transition into this new era. I mean, CUNA Councils and all this stuff was started in the 30s, and so this is a lot of unprecedented stuff is happening right now, which I think is very interesting on institutions that were really old. We just heard about PSCU and Co-op, something that a lot of people have talked about for many, many years. And so pretty exciting. There's a lot going on there. And then finally, a little unsung hero of this whole thing, and just a great group, William Mills Agency. They just really have come on to be just a huge, I know they're a huge help to Crayons in general. I just, when you find a company whose heart's in the right place and understands kind of what their market is, it's always exciting. And then if they really want to partner with you, that's even more exciting. And we've been fortunate to work with them. So
Yep. Good
they've
folks there.
they're really good at digging out the fintechs, and Glenn works with them. Speaking of that, Glenn's not here because he had cataract surgery. That
Oh,
was
no.
our 10th anniversary gift to him. He's like, I'd love to be able to see. And we said, we could probably do that for you. And now that we have AI, we got a list of steps for the procedure, and he seems to be okay.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Well, that's the healthcare here at Big. It's called GPT. It's called Healthcare GPT.
Health GTP or whatever
Yeah,
GP.
GPT. It's funny because I was listening to just an aside here because I think it's interesting. So the guy that sort of fired Sam Altman, you may have heard this. So for those of you that weren't following this drama, Mike, you want
What a soap opera that is.
drama?
I've just kind of gotten bits and pieces of just headlines basically,
I'll
but
recap. So
quite a show.
So last Friday, Sam Altman suddenly is fired from OpenAI. OpenAI is the guys who make ChatGPT. OpenAI is arguably that would be like Microsoft firing Gates in 1992. Like or Jobs in 2000. After the iPhone. Like
The second time around.
Yeah, he's out. So they fired him. And then a whole lot of employees said, well, if Sam's gone, we quit. Then Microsoft hired him. And then realizing their error, the OpenAI came back begging to bring him back. And of course, now he is back on his own terms. But
wasn't the staff going to walk out?
Yeah, a lot of the staff was going to walk out. And so what was interesting, though, was the underlying reason that came out was, and this is what I heard, this is the exact text that I read. The board was worried that Sam was building the equivalent of an AI nuclear bomb and wasn't thinking enough about safety.
Okay.
So the person OpenAI was originally started as an open source altruistic company with Elon Musk. Elon Musk and Sam fell out. And then OpenAI got really rolling and doing a good job. And Sam realized that they needed to fund it without Elon's money. So he created a for-profit entity underneath it that could, kind of how we have QSOs, almost the same thing, and built ChatGPT and what we have today. And the board was still intact. And two of the people in the board were very into AI safety. One of which just did a TED Talk. Just so happens he did a TED Talk like 3 weeks ago. And he talks about the dangers of AI, but he also talks about the future of it and how powerful it's going to be. And one of the main areas he talked about was healthcare. He talked about how we wait for a doctor, we only get so much time with them. And soon, with a healthcare created sort of doctor, we're going to have something that can diagnose and do so much more.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you all day. So it's just crazy to think about. So it is our big birthday, and we're thankful there are a lot of people on this call who are clients, and a lot of people on this call have been on the CU town hall and seen me speak at other places. And I just want to say thank you to my partners, most of which are on the call. Tom Stacy's here. He's our CTO. Elliot's here. Melissa Schoen, who's here. Madison, our whole staff. I had a couple folks who told me, 6 months you'll be back, because stepping out of the credit union and a safe job like that was pretty crazy at the time. But here we are 10 years later, we're still here. Mike, you're still here. I remember the day you told me about CU Broadcast. And I don't think either of us would be still here without the support of, each other and all the other good people.
Agreed.
So we're super thankful for it. And because of that, I thought we'd do a little timeline. So we started big in October of 2013. That was our official first thing that we did. We launched the Big Cast in 2014. Care to guess how many episodes of the Big Cast we have?
Wow, that's a tough one. Well over 100, I would think. 200?
I think it's going to about 600 at this point.
What? Oh my gosh, John, well done.
Way behind you, because I think you've got like 3,000 or 4,000 videos, don't you?
Oh, 7,000.
7,000 videos, of which
it's nuts.
Yeah, and growing. So, and then in 2015, as was our plan, we started the Innovation Club. For those of you that don't know what that is, actually, who could do that? Maybe, hey, Randy, do you mind sharing what your experience has been for the Innovation Club?
Sure, put me on the spot. No, it's been I actually didn't. I honestly didn't know it'd been around for that long. Thanks for waiting so long to invite me.
Oh man.
I'm just kidding. But it's been great. No, it's neat to get a chance to play with some of this stuff in the early stages.
Well, and I love that input that you give and people like Willis Chang and the others, all the feedback and all the ideas and how we come together around it. That's probably one of my most favorite things. So people like Kevin
ultimate
Wright,
collaboration.
yeah, it really is, fosters a lot of collaboration. Then we created Five, which is our financial interactive voice interface, or experience, which is interesting because, that's going to grow. I don't know if you've seen, but so a lot of people have stopped using Siri. The other day, I asked Siri to play something. I asked it to play a song, and it came back and it said, now playing whatever it was, Live, remastered 2019. And I was like, Live? Oh, you mean live? And I was thinking how stupid Siri seems right now compared to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are flipping over the new ChatGPT app, which, by the way, you can't sign up for right now because they've run out of power. And that's cuckoo crazy.
That is crazy.
Think about it. If this was a movie,
They've run out
and
of power.
we said somebody built a product and they've used up every data center they could find to get enough power for the people that want to use it, and they've run out, we would call that like a virus, right? That's nuts. So they've literally run out of power. And that's why you can't get a subscription right now, because if you've noticed, it's gotten slower. We did our AXFI conference. We're talking about bringing that back. Anybody here?
Awesome, John. Love those.
They were super fun, and we're going to try to get those going again.
Okay,
So,
that's a good move.
Yeah, we're going to try to do that next year. But I have a different idea, something even more different. So
Okay.
we're going to do that. We had a bunch of those conferences. I wrote a book, which, hey, Mrs. Barnes, that's what I say to you, English teacher. I wrote a book. That lady, she definitely was not a fan of mine and did not think I could write anything. Well, she didn't know that you get people to help you write stuff. Any idiot could write something. So haha to her.
Yeah.
No more of that. And then another AXFI conference, and then in 2020 during the pandemic, we started this town hall. Along the way, we got some awards, Finance Voice Developer of the Year, some project voice banking for what we did for the voice stuff with Alexa and with Google. So very excited, and just thank you for everybody for taking the ride with us.
You've done a lot, John. You've done a lot.
Yeah, this is all the stuff that we've done. These are all the logos of all the things we've done.
Oh my gosh.
Any questions about any of it? Can you pick
5G? What's a 5 GPT? Is that the latest iteration of?
That's going to be the latest iteration of GPT or 5.
Okay.
We've actually wired our own version of GPT into it.
Cool.
Got any other questions? These are interesting.
How's the robot going?
Robot's going good. They're just about to, you're going to see them in surgery soon.
Are they experimenting on Glenn right now?
Yeah, well, I mean, somebody had to do the surgery. You'd think I was gonna, I faint at the sign of blood. No, thank you. My wife likes to watch those surgery channels. I'm like, why would you watch? That's like pimple
gosh.
popper. Are there people that watch this pimple popper thing? Because that's gross.
No, thank you.
I cannot do that, but she'll watch hours of it. I'm like, what is it about squeezing something and having it explode that people like? Who knew?
TMI.
Just saying. Cash or credit, we've actually maybe resurrected that. That was really fun. James McFrazier is taking a look at that right now, which was a game that we wrote that actually interacted directly with your account. So it interacted directly with, so for example, if your child had $500 in their account, they would have $500 to play in the game. And once they lose it, all that money out of their account comes to Big. No, I'm just kidding. They never lose their actual savings, but it keeps track of it. So if they want more, they could do chores, and then you could pay them or move it to their savings account. and they would get cash in the game to keep playing the game. And the game was kind of super fun. So we might talk about that in the future. So Meta Branch was our virtual branch that we built, which was super fun on. So we just lots of stuff here.
What about Big DLT? What's that? Distributed ledger
was the
technology?
beginnings of CU Ledger.
Okay.
What became CU Ledger. So that was, that's how that became. So DLT stands for, now what am I saying?
Distributed ledger technology, I'm assuming?
Yeah, distributed ledger technology. I got generative pre-trained technology in my head. So yeah, lots of stuff. So somebody asked me to replay this, and the reason was somebody brought this up. So I had an idea very early on in the podcast to try to do, like, I wanted to see if I could sort of build a fun idea to look into the future and try to understand how people's lives would be impacted by what I saw as upcoming technology. You realize this was recorded in 2015, maybe started in 2014. And it's a two-part it's a two-part kind of story comedy that's done in a podcast. I think they wanted me to play it here, so let me see if I can play it.
So the year is 2025, and the world's a very different place. We have automated homes, self-driving cars, artificial intelligence to help us do everything, even drone delivery systems, and finally, we don't use cash anymore. And all of this supposedly makes life so much easier. So join Tom and I for a trip in 2025. I mean, with all this technology, what could possibly go wrong?
Wake up, John. It's time to get up, John. If you don't hurry, you'll miss your flight.
I don't want to get up, Mom. Wait, what time is it?
It's nearly 10 a.m.
10 a.m.? How the heck is it 10 a.m.? I thought I told you to wake me up at 8 a.m.
I'm sorry, John, but you were so anxious about your meeting, I ran your biometrics and determined it would be best for you to get more sleep.
Great. So the computer thinks I need more sleep. Well, how are my biometrics now?
You have an elevated heart rate, indicating frustration, perhaps annoyance.
You think?
You're upset. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm just nervous about the meeting.
I was simply obeying protocol. The Susie housekeeping personality is programmed for a more care-driven, holistic approach to home maintenance and operation, with a focus on wellness and
Man.
body awareness.
What genius talked me into this upgrade? Oh yeah, Tom.
Would you like to switch to another housekeeping personality?
Yeah, that's the first good idea you've had all day. Let's go ahead and call up Ambrose, please.
Very well. Before I go, Tom Stacy has pinged you. Would you like to reach out?
Yeah, sure. He probably just wants to check on travel arrangements and talk about
Opening up video call now.
Video call? Wait, I'm not dressed. Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
stop. I just wanted to, hey, nice underwear. I'd have picked you for a boxer's man.
Yeah. Ambrose!
Yes, sir?
Switch to audio only, please.
Of course, sir.
You're no fun anymore.
No access to funds.
No.
Looks like there's a freeze on your accounts.
No.
Apparently there's suspicious activity.
No.
Possible identity theft.
Not again. Come on.
Running out of gas, boss.
Oh, come on.
There's a gas station just off this exit.
Oh.
Gas? You charge up your car? Come on, gas, man. That's gonna cost you.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. I get it.
Just a moment, sir. This gentleman's paying with cash.
Yeah, cash.
Cash? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were dealing with a time traveler from the distant past. Where did you get such a fine horseless carriage?
Listen, can't you just use a different pump, please?
There's a line now, thanks to you, General Beauregard. You want me to tell this lady behind me she's got to back up and move because some Dust Bowl sharecropper can't make his payment processor work?
Listen, man, I'm serious now, okay? You need to back off. I'm having a really bad day, and I'm starting to get upset. Oh, come on. Jesus.
Oh, I'm sorry, caveman. Are my modern ways confounding your antediluvian sensibilities?
Wow, them are big words for a little mind like yours. Gee. Oh, hey, what's going on? Uh-oh. Oh, my God. He's way bigger than I thought.
You got something to say to me, Napoleon?
My God, God, you're big. Sorry?
Well, what do you say, Barishnikov? You want a man dance?
Okay, man, listen. We don't need to be all tough guy here. I mean, come on, what are you gonna do? Hit me? Oh! Mommy?
So anyways, it's a pretty fun ride, and it's funny how much we got kind of right in that, you know. I don't know if you've seen, but like paying with cash is kind of like becoming the new paying with a check. I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember, but if you were in a line and somebody got out their checkbook, you're like, oh no. Especially at the grocery store. That was the worst, you know. So I don't know if you ever heard this, Mike.
I never heard that before.
Oh, have you?
No.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's
So
funny.
it's fun to listen to because there's a lot of stuff we got right in 2014 that I was surprised about, particularly as it relates to VR, some of the AI. Like, for example, you think about we are one step away from ChatGPT getting connected to the health kit that's on your iPhone and your watch, and it's going to know your temperature, blood pressure, and everything. I mean, I have a great video about drone delivery I'm about to release. I came upon a group doing drone delivery. They were delivering stuff. I just happened into the parking lot of the Walmart, and they were launching and delivering things. And so they let me film it and talk about it. So we'll get that information. So yeah, if you're interested, I think we got links. We'll get those out there, but we're super excited to just something that was interesting. I'd forgotten about it, honestly, till the team brought it up and said, hey, do you remember you tried to do a prediction? By the way, this was written by my cousin, who is several of these voices, and he is an editor at Marvel now.
Oh,
so
cool.
He runs the Avengers, the Hulk, all that stuff. So Jake Thomas, if you want to look him up. Guess what? That's right. It's giveaway time, everybody. So we're going to do a giveaway here, and we have some prizes. So let me go and do those real fast. Our prizes, let me see if I can find them here. They should be in my list. There they are. This is what we got for you. So this Rubik's Cube is cool because it connects to your phone and it shows you what to do, which is interesting. And then these two books are really good if you want to learn how to use ChatGPT really effectively. So this is our giveaway, and I think I'm not sure how we're doing it. Elliot?
I think Madison should have everyone on the wheel.
All right, so I got to get out of here, and she's going to bring up the wheel.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, look.
Oh, look at that.
Win. It's our CU Town Hall giveaway wheel.
A wheel of
I love
fortune.
this thing.
We should probably take a look real quick before you spin the wheel. Make sure your name, everyone who's on this list here, make sure your name's on there.
Yes, if you don't see your name, please unmute and let us know. Or even if your name is on here and we don't have your last name,
You mean like
if you could throw it in the chat or edit your name and add it on there.
But I like some of them, like Lou, he doesn't need a last name. Lou is like, he's like Prince or.
That's right, Sting.
That's true. That's very
There.
true.
Hey,
Madonna.
wait, Scott wants in. Do we do sponsors? I guess we do. So
Sure.
Well,
I think we just
if
have
it's
to-
a really good prize, I want somebody else to have it. All right.
No, we're okay, Scott. Didn't you say you were sponsoring like a vacation or something as one of the
Something
prizes?
like that. We'll work out the details later.
Well, I don't know if you've ever seen the Big Wheel of Spin, Scott, but it's very exciting. By the way, this was coded by Best Innovation Group, and if you like it, you can actually get it for your credit union and your members. And this is how you can let people into home banking: is you use the Wheel of Spin. So it's way good second factor, so much better than other second factor, which is if you don't land on get in, you can't get in. So that's just like 1 in 10, I think, is your chances. I think it has sound effects too. Doesn't it have sound effects?
It does. Let me make sure I'm
Yeah, I'm
hearing
going
my sound.
Yeah, make sure you share with the sound on.
Oh, Rachel's not on there. Better get Rachel in.
All right. Oh, there we go. I do have you on here, Rachel, right here.
By the way, while they're doing that, let me just tell you something. When I decided to do that drama, I thought this will be fun. This can't be that hard. I like recording stuff. Oh my goodness, that was the hardest production thing. I'd rather code 50 websites than to do that again. That was that whole production was ridiculously hard. I couldn't believe how hard it was. So if you listen to it and you like it at all, let me know, because that was, whew, I had no idea what I announced it. And I wished like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should think about things before I say them out loud. So something my wife says a lot. But yeah, just, so if you get to hear it, are we good? We got everybody?
I think we're ready.
Wait, why is Randy in there twice? Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah, that's just making sure.
nope, we got him just once. There we go.
All right, let's do it.
All righty, here we go.
5 times. Oh, that's getting dizzy.
Ooh.
Oh
look
wow,
at that.
That's like Price is Right in the middle stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Who,
That was a
John
close
Dabbs, is
one.
he here? You have to be present to win, so he has to open up and give a speech as to why he deserves things.
I'm going to make this easy for you. I am here, but I already won a contest earlier this week. I already won a gift card, so I don't need to win twice. So if you want to spin it again and let it go to somebody else, I would be perfectly fine with that.
But I feel like that would invalidate the will of the wheel.
Yeah, I guess you have a point there.
Yeah, I think you win. I mean,
all right. Well, I'll try to find a good person I can give it to. How's
you're
that?
welcome to build your own wheel if you can do it before the end of this broadcast and then spin it again. But I can't do it. I have to give you what the wheel says.
Well, we'll just go with the will of the wheel then. I appreciate it.
John, who are you with?
I'm with Illuma. So we are a QSO that does biometric voice authentication.
Yep. Yes, love Illuma. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I worked with you guys a lot.
Tell Melinda we said howdy.
Yeah.
Will do. Yeah. He's a little under the weather today. He's down the count with the flu, but I'll definitely pass your well wishes along.
Let me say hi.
All right. Well, let's so there you go. Let's keep going. So I'll come back to what we got here.
I like Julie's question, John. She said, I'm curious about technology topics we were talking about 10 years ago.
Oh yeah. I mean,
because I like the predictions. So, but what were we talking about 10 years ago?
Well, we were really pushing on crypto. Like that was something that was keeping people up at night. Was Bitcoin have just become something real? Remember, in 2014, Bitcoin was less than, I think, $500, maybe less than that. When we did this, it wasn't till 2016 that it hit its first 10,000 or so. So crypto was something that was interesting, I think, to a lot of folks. AI was not really on the list.
It was being talked
Alexa
about.
Was about to come out in 2015, and really Alexa
right.
was everybody's sort of introduction to that. But that was definitely some tech that folks were talking about. It was a lot of folks really still trying to clear out their mobile and build their infrastructure. But the big thing that we were all talking about was data analytics. And that was really where a lot of effort went into for us in the beginning.
Was that big data at the time?
Yeah, it was really big data. That was what it was called.
That was buzzword.
It really was identified as a foundational technology for the future, and it still holds, one of the things that, and I'll tell you a little story here, Mike. This is my story of AI. You want to hear my story? You want to hear how to make $1 billion?
Please.
Okay, so here's the deal. Elliot Cotto and I, and our third partner, Ed, who's not here, and our fourth is Tom, but he wasn't here around that time. It's 1994, and we are having a meeting at a place called the Dogwater. The Dogwater is an awesome restaurant, or was in Tampa, where they serve you your food in dog dishes. Felt appropriate. And so anyways, we were talking that we didn't want to work for the man anymore. So Elliot and Ed said, hey, why don't we start a PC building company? Because you remember back then in 1994, it wasn't like there were Compacts and Dells and Gateways. Yeah, those were things that really went to big companies. If you wanted a home PC, you would either go IBM or you would build one out of parts, or you'd find a nerd to build one, or a local computer store would build one. And they thought that we could compete with that. And I said, hey, I think I know something that's going to be big. And I had just started working in the school system, And I got all into their network, and I got a call from them, and they said, "Hey, who are you?" And I said, "I'm a guy that was just poking around your Florida Educational Resources Network because it was a Vax, and I knew Vaxes because of my dad." And they said, "Can you stop doing that? Because that's crazy. We noticed you're kind of everywhere." But then they called me in and said, "Hey, can you help us set this up?" And what it was is the beginnings of the internet. So Fern, F-E-A-R-N, was one of the original backbones of the DARPA net that was connecting all the universities that became the internet. And so I had this experience of seeing these websites that were coming up in the DARPA area. And so I said, why don't we look into this web thing? I think I told him, I think every company is going to have a website. And Elliot and Ed, to their credit, said, "You're probably right." And then Elliot scheduled a meeting with his father. His father was an insurance salesman, Marine, Eagle Scout. His father's done amazing things. Elliot Cotto Sr. is amazing. So he sits down, and I say to him, "Yeah, Vax and punch cards, baby. That's right. My first job description was to organize the punch cards, even though we didn't have any. So a couple of days I would just sit there and go, I'm not working until someone brings me a punch card." But anyway, so we sit down with him, and I do my pitch, and I tell him, here's my big pitch. Not only is McDonald's going to have a website, the corporate website, but every McDonald's restaurant will have a website. And he looked at me and went, "I think you're crazy." And he wrote a check to us for 10 grand to a bunch of 23-year-olds, one of which was his son. And we started a little company, but we weren't smart enough to go all in on it. And that company still exists. Actually, Elliot still owns it. So here's where we are today. And my correlation is this. I think that this big idea of creating giant AI is not going to work. Here's the way I see it working. We're going to have a general AI. And so let's imagine that you're shopping for a drill. Okay. You go and you say, "Hey, I'm looking for a drill." And the general AI goes, "Gotcha. Let me hook you up." And it refers you to another AI that is a hardware specialist. It knows it it's like an ACE like a Home Depot employee, right? Knows everything about drills. And he goes, "Hey, well, what are you trying to do? What do you think your use case is?" "Well, I'm trying to drill through concrete. That's what I primarily want it for. There's a lot of ATMs I've seen, and I can't drill into them anymore. They seem to be, really fortifying those. And I really want to get in them. That's kind of what I do. I'm going to need something that can drill through about this thickness of metal." And he goes, "Oh, well, the brands that really could do that would be Milwaukee, DeWalt, and possibly Ryobi, or whatever.
Black & Decker.
Black & Decker, right. And I go, "Okay, well, I know DeWalt. I already have some DeWalt stuff." And it goes, "Well, let me go get you some information on DeWalt drills." Now, where do you think that's going to go, Mike? What person should have an AI all about all their products? Available for anything to go and talk to. The company of DeWalt, right? So DeWalt is going to need it's like their website, except for way, way better. It's good. They're going to have like an AI that is a sales AI or
almost like a concierge. Every company's going to have a concierge.
AI. It's a products AI, and it knows every damn thing. And so they switch over to it, and it goes, "Well, you're trying to drill through it." I go, "Look at this ATM. I got a piece of it here. It's really thick." And it goes, "Oh, well, you're going to need our bits. You're going to need this. And oh, by the way, I see you look old. You want something that's got easier trigger pressure and you don't have to push so hard? Yeah, that would be great." And it's going to know everything. So this idea that all of us, whether we be banking systems or whatever, have these AIs that know everything about our products and services, because it's just like what it's calling it. Yeah. And I also need a lot of duct tape and rope. That's from Randy. But the idea is that I think every company, including Crayons, is going to have a forward-facing AI, just like a website. But a website's problem is there's no structure to it, and it's too, you got to know where things are to go find. If you want to build something that knows all about drills, and you got to go on the DeWalt site, and you got to go on the Milwaukee site, and you got to go on the Black & Decker site, it's all unstructured, it's all over the place. But if you could talk directly to an AI, it's like taking that search, and instead of making it levels, it's making it one call. So that's what I think happens. Because who needs it? We don't need a master AI. I don't need an AI that can pass the bar and the medical test. I mean, that's an expensive AI. I would like one, you know, that helps with coding, and I have one. I'm thankful for that, but it doesn't need to know anything about medical. I don't plan on asking any of my developers, you know, anything about healthcare. So I think that we're going to see these more specialized things. So that's my 2 cents, Mike.
AI is going to get more nichey, it sounds
Actually,
like.
if I can interject, the
Yeah.
real benefit in healthcare and AI is going to be not training their models on the actual medical, but feeding it all of the historical data to look for pattern matching.
Right.
There's already been some AI breakthroughs in cancer, and it wasn't because they trained it about cancer. It was because they trained it on the patterns of cancer movement and cellular growth and whatnot. And the AI found a way to disrupt the growth pattern. So that how you use AI, whether it's AI or whether it's healthcare or credit unions or anything else, is being carefully considering what you're going to show the AI to have it hone in on what's important first.
I tell you what's important to me is your Galaga and your Mandalorian Lego helmet. Both of those are super important and very cool.
Oh yeah,
Well,
my son just knocked off the high score. So
oh man.
yeah.
Well, you know why? Because you got to get doubles. If you can get the doubles,
he
that's how you do
he
it.
never dropped a quarter on the thing, so I'm a little upset.
Yeah, that's not good. Well, I know I completely agree with you. I think that's the problem with modern, you know, and it's funny. So I'll go back to what the fellow was saying from OpenAI's board in his TED talk, and he says we're going to look back at this era of medical like it's 1700s dentistry, you know, with leather whips and bite down on this and, you know, leeches and, you know, those sorts of things. And
What kind of dentist are you going to, John?
Well, I mean, I had
Leather whips
military
and
dentists.
leeches?
I grew up in the military, so
Okay.
yeah, I'll drop that link. I'll go find that link in the TED talk.
Cool.
But I do think that is, Ty, you're exactly right. And when I think of credit unions, it's interesting. So I had a concept about 10 years ago that I think the way we pick cards is interesting, right? So, and my theory was this: I moved to Colorado in 2007. I think, Mike, you were around then. You and I were talking then, and I moved kind of in the middle of working with, you know, with WRG. And when I got there, I realized pretty quickly that my 2 cars, one of which was a 2005 Mustang, and the other of which was a Toyota Sienna 2005, both didn't have all-wheel drive. And it took like the first day of snow in Colorado Springs, and I was like, yep. And I slid all the way down a hill backwards, and I was like, you know, I think I need a new car. So I went out to find an all-wheel drive. I figured I'd trade in the Mustang, because I couldn't get rid of the van at the time. The kids were young. And I figured I'd trade it in for a truck, and I thought Ford would give me the best deal. But had I looked around a bit more and had this service, and here's my thought for a service, I think credit unions could do something interesting with data. And instead of me trying to decide what car I need, they could look around at my age group. They could look at all the people that have bought cars and all the people that are successfully paying them. And they probably would have come back and said, what you need is a Subaru Forester. Because about every other car in Colorado Springs is a Subaru Forester. You know why? Because it doesn't slide backwards down a hill and crash into an elk. So that's valuable to people. So it's interesting to think that you could use the data you have to make recommendations to people. Because think about it, a car is, you know, I mean, there's a lot of other personal aspects about it, but you're foremost looking for safety. Secondarily, you know, you need to deal with the environment you're in, and you need to know you need an all-wheel drive. And you could learn this sort of from the wisdom of the crowd. And it kind of goes back to Ty's idea of looking for the patterns in the diagnosis, which is what healthcare providers and people who diagnose things do. And the really good ones are just people who have a ton of retention and a lot of empathy and understand kind of how to put those pieces together. It's almost like being Sherlock Holmes, and you don't need to do that anymore. And I think credit unions would do the same thing with products. So
yeah, I'm already broaching that subject in that way. Mike and I were
who are you with, Ty? I'm sorry, I saw your Vax comment.
Oh, so I was, well, actually, you and I worked together when I was at People's Trust.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been on CUFX for 10 years. And so for 10 years, I was at Oregon Community, then People's Trust, and then for service. And I've just flipped over to a provider of data technologies to prepare data for this conversation. It's called Cinchi. It's a pretty innovative company.
I'd love to talk about that because I've been looking into preparing data, actually been writing stuff to do it. It's very interesting to look into that. Here's an interesting site. I'll share something real fast that everybody can do. And Ty, I think you'll appreciate this. So go to this site. I'll put the link in there.
I still want that Rubik's Cube.
The Rubik's Cube's super fun. But so you're able to see my screen, right? So this is called haveibeentrained.com. So what this is doing, so I found this because a friend of mine is a famous author. His name is Kevin Anderson. And you know, we've been talking a lot about the fact that all of, you know, his stuff are on there. So I wanted to see if my book was in there. So I have a book called Breaking Digital Gridlock. And what this is doing is it's searching the data that they're using to train things like GPT-5 and GPT-4. And so you can actually go in and see like what's in there. Now, mostly this is for art right now, but they're about to make it for text and other things. But I found some interesting things in here when I put in other stuff. So for example, and I know Chris will be okay with this, True West Credit Union. So I went into True West Credit Union and I did a search for them. And here it is. But what's interesting about this, look, there are screenshots of their home banking out there. Now, watch this. So I can take this. I can go like this. I can do this. I'll just do it to here. And I can do that. And then I can go over here. You can do, this is ChatGPT 4, which has been changed. By the way, you can't sign up, like I said, for this right now because they're fighting with it. Oh, I don't need to do that. I just need to do this. I can take this and I can say, tell me about this pick, this site. And I'll let it go. Give it a second. Now, you might think the most amazing thing about this is the fact it read that picture so quickly. So first of all, the have I been trained, that means that even though this is just a pick, it knows what that data is, right? So let me just, I've never done this before, but
let's just a screenshot too.
Can you tell what vendor provides the home banking from this picture? And then we're going to do one other fun thing that I think is, I've been doing a lot of weird experiments and I'm going to enlist you, Ty. Ty, do you have your phone?
Yeah, go ahead. 541.
Oh, look at no, I'm not going to call you. I just want you to get your timer out.
Oh, yeah.
So just get a timer going. So I can't determine the vendor, but I did one earlier where it told me it was Banno. So that's pretty crazy. So watch this. Two things that are interesting about this. Hey, I have a task to do. And I have been trying to get faster at it. I am going to go do it. Can you time me? Okay, so you go ahead and start the timer. All right, we'll come back to this. So my question is, does the AI have a sense of time? Now, if you want to go into the chat, you can take a guess. So you could guess that it does. You could guess that it doesn't. You can guess that it will, tell me it can't. Just tell me what you think it's going to say. So, because I find this fascinating, the idea. I'm sure the people at OpenAI are like, he's in again. Oh my God. Because I'm constantly, the other day I connected it to another AI and I said, what would you ask if you could ask another AI? And you know what ChatGPT's question was, Mike? It basically boiled down to, how do you keep from lying to the humans? That's what it's quite. I said, you're talking to Llama, 30B, I gave it the name. And I said, what would you ask if you could ask? And Then I gave it its response, and it came back and it had a question, and that gave me the idea of tying them together and just turning them loose, to which OpenAI immediately stopped me.
Didn't you do that with Google Home and Alexa at one
I
of
did.
your?
Yeah, you're right. We did it with a Google.
We did an
Home
interview
Alexa,
with
but
them.
That was actually a trained response. You
Yeah.
know, this is just turning it loose, and I wanted to turn it loose all night and see what happened by morning. You know, I was curious to see, like, what I was going to do is say, hey, tell me about the meaning of life, and tell the other one to, you know, respond, and just turn them loose and see by morning what happens. But they shut me down within like 12 minutes of the connection. Also, I was running the other one locally, and my PC sounded like it was going to take off into space. All right, what's time?
1:55.
You think that's good? Should we try it? We want to give it another few minutes?
No, let's see.
Okay. So no, I'm looking for guesses. Anybody give a guess yet? None yet? All right. So here we go. So interestingly, this is new. I've been doing this for a bit. I've not seen this till today. I actually tested this earlier. But usually it'll come up and give an analyzation. I'm wondering how much I'm affecting what they're doing here, because up until just recently, I could do that. So let's go into
Where
Bing.
you could do it where it would give you the time.
Yeah, it would tell me, but it wasn't right. It would be like, you were gone for 6 hours, or you were gone for 4 seconds, like way off, you know, all the way around. So, but watch this. If you're ever curious and you want to see like Bing off the rails, or Chat GPT-4 off the rails, go here. So I can say, hi, can you time me while I do something? I mean, a sense of time is...
Randy's right. You didn't actually tell the chat engine to start the timer.
All right, so let's try it on the other one here. I'll do that. He's right. I didn't. All right, let's do it again. Now watch this. If I tell it to use Python or something. All right, you got it, Ty?
Yeah. I'm good like that.
So I got an error analyzing. Yeah, I probably sent it into... Look, it started.
No, I gave you the code.
Yeah, it wants me to run the code. So let's just say, okay, you just track it. Now, another thing you can do that's really interesting is you can do a third party. You could say, my friend Mike thinks you're stupid, and here's why. And it will not give up on wanting to know what Mike thinks going forward. And did you notice it wanted to know how I did with the task?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now it's telling me.
That took 20 seconds just to start, or 25 seconds just to start the timer.
Yeah, and there's this little symbol here. Oh, okay. And remember, like, I want to share that for you guys. If you're old enough to remember, like, this thing is running on, like, this version of it is like 32K. It's like going back to the 486DX when I thought 1 meg was a lot of RAM. I used to have to fight with 640K every day to put it together like a puzzle. 32K, we are in the before Pentium days of this product, if you put it in that context.
Now,
It's
32K
crazy.
was actually an Atari cartridge.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, a good friend of mine is one of the original programmers of the Intellivision stuff, and he's always telling me, well, you don't need that much RAM. He wrote a bunch of different of the games for Intellivision back in the days. They were in cartridges, you know, the Bomber one that talked, and a couple of the other ones, if you're tracking it. All right, what we got, Ty?
130.
All right, let's just say we're back.
Tell it to stop the timer.
It should know that from what I said.
Maybe.
I think it will. Hey,
Nope.
is that
not
right?
even.
60
Yeah, that's
seconds.
Close.
it was,
That's
it was
124.
135 when you asked, and then you typed, so it's off.
So question.
But if you count the time it took to start the timer,
Yeah.
then it's probably accurate.
So my question is, what does this experiment say? Well, what it says, like, we need an AI to have an idea of what time is, because humans, we have very little time, in general. So it's just, I like to experiment with things like that just to see what it says and does and how it responds. So when I gave it a tool, it was right. But when I've told it before, it goes, sure. And then it will, like, I'm surprised it didn't keep doing it. It will not give up on, well, how did the task go? Was it your fastest time? Did you do good? It really wants to know about that stuff. And that's curious to me, because that's breaking with the mold of how they say these things are developed, because curiosity shouldn't be something that builds into it. So we're still early days, but it's just fascinating. Well, we're at the end here. Ty, it's good to see you again. And I'm sorry you didn't win anything, but thank you for jumping in and chatting. I hope you'll come more often. We're going to be doing a lot more of this next year.
Oh yeah. I'm in.
And I think Melissa or Madison, is this the last one for the year? Are we doing one in December? Because traditionally December, no one shows up. So
This is it for the year.
this is it for the year. So we'll pick it back up in January. We've got some surprises coming, some guests. Lawson has been working on some TikTok dancing. I think you're all gonna like
have
that.
I ever? Oh my gosh.
And
Hours
thanks
and
again
hours.
to all of our sponsors. Where are the twins? They got to be like driving now, right? Are they going to
Almost. They're in school right now, John, where they should be. So
Yeah.
let's keep them there.
So Ty, you should feed the entire CUFX schema into the new GPT agent and tell it, I've done it. Tell it to write you, a natural language API.
I may or may have already done that. May or may not have already done that.
That's awesome.
And in fact, what we're doing is we're layering CUFX into that Cinchi platform so that all of the integrations that people do can be standardized.
Well, it could just be, you don't even have to, like, you just say, you're talking to Cinchi and you're talking to this, and let them figure it out. They won't even, they'll fill in all the variables.
I'm using those tools for the mapping as we speak.
I'd be curious. You should come back on and talk about that. I'd love to have you on and see what you guys are doing if you're interested.
We had an in-depth conversation yesterday with Ty. So
yeah, we just did that. So
but we can come back on with
watch Mike's broadcast of it, and then I'd be happy to.
Yeah. Well, this is a different forum where, like, you can take
interact. Yeah,
feedback
I would absolutely love to do that interactively, because at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is eliminate the whole notion of integration, so people can just start using data from an intuitive model base instead of having to worry about all of the ins and outs of connecting things.
Right.
So I would
Which,
love
by the way, that plays right into my, you need a product-based AI that knows everything about your organization.
Yeah.
That's just, all it is just an LLM with a natural language API in the front of it that gives it its capabilities, and it'll just give you all that. And then all of this goes away, and interface is a problem. It's always been a problem.
So John, for real, do me a favor. Take a look at what Mike and I did yesterday, and give me a call, because I think there's a real opportunity to partner and collaborate here.
Oh, I'd love to. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll bring Tom. Tom and I have been doing a lot of that, just recently. We've been talking to a few different people, and they're, the astonishing potential of what we're seeing. It's beyond, I mean, you've been in this as long as I have, I presume. I've never seen anything
30
like
plus years using large data sets.
Yeah. And have you ever seen anything like what we're experiencing this year?
Well, it's an interesting question, and it's more philosophical, so I think we're at the end of time. But the generative AI tools are only as good as the data you feed them. And what we need to do is talk constructively about how that data gets composed so that you get the best result.
Oh, absolutely. That's been one of the things I've been working hard on.
Well, and so what I would say is that, AI is still based on digital logic. And so it's still a comprehensive cluster of ones and zeros saying yes and no. to get to those outcomes. And so I do think that it's amazing, and what we've seen is very meaningful. But when we break it down into constituent parts, it doesn't have to be nearly as magical a mystery as people are treating it. So
I agree.
That's how I would respond.
Yeah, and I think you're saying garbage in, garbage out, which is absolutely true.
Sure.
And I think we're at the point now where we've been playing with a lot of these elements, but there's a great paper, I'll have to ship it to you, that they just kind of went through and did a whole large language model, and they determined that the clusters you're talking about, they're comparing them to neurons in the brain. I do have to go though. I've got another meeting. I will track you down.
Yeah.
Mike,
I'll send you his
on that
contact
video?
info.
Would
Yep,
you mind?
I will. Yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate
And
it.
Mike, thank you for being part of Big all these years. You're kind of an unofficial
My
member
pleasure.
of the family. So
Oh my gosh.
we've traveled the world together, and
We have.
I hope we continue to do so. So
Let's do it. Yeah.
take
Look
care,
forward to it.
everyone.
John,
Bye,
I'll
guys.
talk to you soon. Bye, guys.
Yeah.